Tonight, we are facing one of those moments that reminds the world that wars burning far away sometimes reach out and knock on the doors of major powers. This story begins with a strike in Ukraine, but its shockwaves have traveled all the way to Washington. Within the last 48 hours, Ukraine carried out a strike on Russian forces, one that Moscow could not ignore. This was not an ordinary frontline clash. The missile landed on a site Russia claims as its own, while the world views it as illegally occupied territory, a place where Russian military facilities were operating with the confidence of being completely safe. According to Moscow, the attack was carried out using Western-supplied long-range weapons, the very systems approved by the United States. And that is what has sharpened Russia's tone. The Kremlin took an unusual diplomatic step, summoning the U.S. ambassador in Moscow. In diplomatic language, this is the moment when a country not only sends a warning, but shows the world that the issue is serious. Russian officials warned that this strike crossed a red line, and that Washington would face consequences. Russia's goal is clear: to shift the narrative from Ukraine defending itself to America attacking Russia by proxy. A narrative that could frighten Europe, unsettle American voters, and fracture international support for Kyiv. In Washington, high-level discussions began immediately. Secure video conferences connected the White House, Pentagon, and State Department. Intelligence officials analyzed the strike, the nature of the target, the type of missile used, and whether Russia was preparing any military or cyber response. The core question was, is this just aggressive rhetoric, or is Moscow preparing something real? The State Department then had to decide whether to downplay the matter or confront it directly. Ultimately, Washington responded openly but carefully. Yes, the U.S. supports Ukraine's right to defend itself. Yes, Russian sites used to attack civilians are legitimate targets. No, this does not make the United States a direct party to the war. But the real debate is happening behind closed doors, between Washington, European capitals, and Kyiv. If Russia is now openly threatening the West over long-range strikes, it will shape strategy for months and years ahead. Ukraine's survival depends on hitting Russia's so-called safe zones, airfields, depots, command centers, and launch sites deep inside occupied territory. If those areas remain untouched, Ukraine will always be on the defensive. Here, American domestic politics complicate matters. Some Americans are war-weary. The president argues Europe must take a larger role. Meanwhile, defense officials across the West insist that backing down to threats would set a dangerous global precedent. Washington faces two choices. Key 1: pull back, give Russia what it wants. Restrict Ukraine's use of U.S. weapons. Delay long-range systems. Require case-by-case approval for strikes. This would cool tensions briefly, but it would tell Moscow, threaten harder, and the West will bend. Key 2: or stay firm, stand by Ukraine. Any site launching attacks on civilians is a legal target. Russian threats cannot dictate U.S. policy. Coordination with allies must remain strong. So far, Washington seems to be following the second path, steady, calm, and unwilling to bow. But the harshest reality is inside Ukraine itself. People are sitting in darkness after power plants are hit. Water lines are destroyed. Families mourn loved ones killed in daylight missile strikes. For them, the question is simple. Will the West only allow them to defend, or also give them the ability to strike back effectively? In truth, Russia's aggressive warning reflects fear. Fear that its once safe bases are no longer safe. The world is watching how Washington handles this moment. If America stands firm, it will send a message that threats cannot rewrite global rules. If America steps back, this night will be remembered as the moment Russia learned that intimidation can shape U.S. policy.